So I hear this all the time, guys. I love you, but I'm not in love with you, right? I hear this statement quite a bit. Women say it, men say it, and the truth of the matter is most women and men say this at a time in their lives where they simply feel like giving up, right? They're hurt, they're confused, they're wondering, how did this all happen? And if you're there right now, if you're there feeling this right now, I feel for you. I've been there. It's painful, it's lonely, but there is absolutely a ray of light that you can reach out for, right? That can renew your energy, renew your life, renew your passions, and have deep passion and love in your marriage and or relationship. This is where it all starts. So let's kind of talk about this. If your spouse says, I love you, but I'm not in love with you, what does that mean, right? What does that mean? A person who says, I love you, but I'm not in love with you is basically saying, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I don't feel the same way I used to about you, right? I care for you, but the loving feelings are gone, right? I hear this all the time. So what is it that he or she is really saying, okay? I really care about you, but I'm no longer excited and in love with you. He or she is kind of using caring or no longer excited in love to communicate their feelings, let you know how they feel, but let's talk about what they mean by that, the caring and the excited in love part. Caring, super useful, right? You can be concerned about someone, you can be caring towards someone, but it's different than love. I can care or be concerned about the next door neighbor, right? The fact that he may be in a wheelchair, life is difficult for him, but I don't love him, right? Or maybe being excited about someone. Also wonderful, but it is different than love, and I'll explain in a moment. I might be excited about a relationship I have with my personal workout coach, but of course I do not love him or her. So when one says, I love you, but I am not in love with you at the surface level, it seems like they've given up, right? They no longer have those loving feelings and no longer have the answers for happiness. They are expressing their feelings and their confusion about what love is to them at that moment in time, right? How this all happened in the first place. And here's the key when you break it down. Okay, you start peeling back the layers and you start to uncover and understand what love truly is. Things will open up, love becomes clear. Here's the question. What is love to you? And here it is, right? The golden nugget of wisdom, I call it. And listen closely. Most people, guys, they just want to be loved, right? They just want those feelings of love like a warm blanket, right? Who doesn't want to be loved? But listen, here is the key. And if you start adopting this frame of mind, everything can change and for the better. Here it is. Love is something, guys, that we articulate through action. Let me say it again. Love is something we articulate through action. The feelings of love, that warm and beautiful feeling of love, is secondary. Let me explain, okay? Love should be used as a verb, right? Love is something that you do. It is not a feeling that you get from another person. The feeling of love is secondary. The emotional feelings of love, right, is an experience that you receive as a result of things you do for your partner or things that are done for you by your partner on a consistent basis. Think about this for a moment. When you love someone, do you do little cute things for them? Maybe, leave them a love note, maybe wake up early, make them breakfast. Do you ever, maybe give them the extra pillow, back rub, maybe rub their feet? Love, my friend, is an action you do, and the feelings of love is the reward. Let me say that again. The actions you do are love. The feelings of love is the reward. So do not forget this simple statement. The feelings of love are secondary to the actions of love. If there is no action of love, there is no feeling of love. Let that sink in just for a second. Love, guys, it is not a mystery. There are very specific things that you've done in the past, right, that resulted in love. There are things you can do now, right this very moment, for you and your spouse to solve your problems and build love in your marriage, in your relationship. I've done it. I've been through it. My clients have done it. They've been through it. It's not difficult when you learn the steps, right? The formula, the language, the ability to communicate your needs effectively with your partner. Your ability, guys, to communicate your needs with your partner is in direct proportion to the success of your marriage, period. Just as there are habitual laws to achieve literally anything in life, there are also laws for relationships. Just as, let's say, the right diet, right? The right exercise program makes you physically stronger, certain habits in your relationship will make your marriage and or relationship stronger, right? It's a direct cause and effect. If you know and apply the laws, the formula, the language, so to speak, right? The results are predictable. You can make love. You can create love. You can nurture love in your relationship. No joke. The program works for literally any marriage, even if one spouse is interested in doing it and the other is not. My goal is not to only reconnect you with your spouse, but completely fortify the walls of your home and to ignite the flame that still resides in both of you. It is still there and it's screaming to be let out. That's my goal. I've been in a relationship with Erica now for 16 years. It is a series of ups and downs. It's like you're going into or coming out of crisis at all times. It's our job, so to speak, to stay emotionally stable through those cycles and continuously nurture and grow that love. It's the only way it can be done. If you are not, in essence, watering that plant, my friend, you are killing that plant, right? The relationship dies. So very often in the program, someone will say to me, you know, Michael, I love my spouse, but I'm just not in love with them. I hear it all the time. Here's my immediate response. Can you write down 5 ways in the past week or so that you've demonstrated your love for your spouse? And this is where I hear every excuse in the book. Well, we've tried this. Oh, and he should have done that. And I could have done this, but he didn't do that. So it's what we call the blame game. It does not work. It is not helpful. None of what I hear ever passes for an answer to the very simple question that I asked a moment ago. What have you done in the last week that demonstrates your love for your spouse? Okay. When I ask that question and people don't have the answer and they make up excuses, that gets me excited. You know why it gets me excited? Because I have the blueprint to their happiness. I have the step-by-step program that will give them their marriage back. All they need to do now is just be honest with themselves. I love you, but I'm not in love with you is a full-blown cop-out. It's a failure, and I don't do failure. The person, or I should say this person, right, has at least mentally given up, right? It basically means that they have no clue how to make a relationship last long-term. So this is what they do. They exit the marriage, right, to experience the romance again, short-term with another relationship. But whoever they're quote unquote in love with today or next will eventually hear the same thing. I love you too, but I'm just not in love with you any longer. They will repeat the process, right? The cycle, and they will forever be lonely, frustrated, and simply lost. They have not yet uncovered the steps necessary to truly love someone and be successful and passionate long-term. It's the way it goes. So, for those of you that are listening right now, right? Some of you will say, of course, this sounds great and everything, Mike, but it's really my spouse that needs to hear this, right? Not me. Okay. Getting your spouse from I love you, but I'm not in love with you to, okay, let's try this. Let's give it another chance is a task in itself. If this is your situation, it is critical that you handle it properly. One false step, the marriage could be over, right? If you take the right steps, you can draw your spouse back in, begin to restore your marriage together, and I can help you do that. How do you do that? This is what I teach in the Priceless Man and Woman series. I will teach you how to bring your spouse back into the fold without applying pressure that will drive them farther away. If this interests you, you can book a free call with me personally. It doesn't cost anything. We can spend 10 minutes, 15, 20, 45 minutes together. It will cost you nothing. So, if this interests you, click on the link below, pick a time and a date, and we'll sit down and talk. We'll simply uncover what's happening in your relationship and a few options to get you what you need and what you want. Talk to you soon.